not sure if I should sit here. Sure. You want to use this, right? You want to stand? Okay, I'll sit here. Oh, goody.
Hello? Hello?
Testing.
Hello? Hello?
There you
we
go.
go. Okay. Welcome, bienvenido. My name is Lori Douglas. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I am your worship associate for this service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County. I'm about 5'6" feet tall. I have short, wispy salt and pepper hair. And I'm wearing a multicolored top. And today, because this is honoring the Ancestor Day, we're going to honor the Calusa natives, who are the ancestors of our land right here. I'd also like to honor today my own ancestors, my German and Austrian and Jewish ancestors, and my French, Canadian, and Creole ancestors. So I welcome you to have yours in mind. We begin our service each week by sending an invitation to gather together, even as we are scattered in many places, and whether virtual or live in our sacred space. Today is a bit special, as we are gathering in a circle here today. This is delightful. This service is being broadcast live on YouTube and will be available as a recording on the UUFCC YouTube channel after the service. Your patience will be appreciated at the end, as there is a slight delay to close down that YouTube connection. I'd like to remind you of a few little procedures that will make things simpler. This would be a great time to put your phones in meditation mode. For those with us virtually, we may wish to have a chalice or a candle available for our chalice lighting ritual. For those in the sanctuary, we ask that you socially distance as appropriate and use masks while we are inside. Let us help to keep each other safe. I wish to express my gratitude this morning for those who make this service possible. Those supporting technology this morning, Tom and Corey and Robert and Lori Anderson, who helped out. To the building and grounds team and the sanctuary decorating team, who were in here like little fairies last night. Particularly Laura and Sue, Sandy, Trudy, Cheryl, and Jackie, who set up and cleaned the chairs. Wow. Whew. To our membership team and their team of greeters, to Mary Jane and Sandy for their behind-the-scenes assistance, and to those who made coffee and brought goodies. Hey. Whatever your faith or the country of your heritage, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whomever you love, you are welcome here. And whether you walked in briskly, on little feet, big feet, or ambled in, you are welcome here. Whether you are relatively new to our community or have been active a number of decades, you are welcome here. We're glad you chose this congregation as your spiritual worship today. If you're new here or returning for a long time away, please stand in body or spirit or wave and state your first names, where you're from, so that we can welcome you.
It's my first time.
Yes, you'll be introduced in a minute. Elaine, welcome. Yay! Who else? Yes. Kay, okay. Kay's back here from long ago. Yay! Welcome back. Jerry and Ellen, welcome back. We have our friends. Ashley, would you like to introduce your company there? David and Leah, welcome, and Ashley, yay, welcome back. Okay, who else? In the middle, anybody else? We have a couple more newcomers. Hi, yes.
Used to be active here about 20 years ago.
Wonderful, what are your names?
Cliff Meacham.
Wonderful, Cliff.
And my wife, Katie.
And Katie.
And her mom, Phyllis Foster, was a member here for many years.
Wonderful. Welcome back. And who's this strange person sitting next to you there under the veil? Oh, yeah, that's our mail order bride. I remember now. Okay. Okay, let's see. Who else do we have here? Anybody else new? Okay, welcome everybody. If you're new at home and would like to learn more about our fellowship, you can email Mary Jane at the office or visit our website at uufcc.org. And wherever you are, we're glad you're here right now. Today we have a very special guest, Reverend Elaine Silver. Yay. Reverend Elaine. Hold on here. Here we go. Reverend Elaine, I got to tell you a little bit about her because she's got a great background. She's a trans-denominational minister, licensed science of mind practitioner, and ordained divinity priestess. Princess. Okay, that's good too. For many years, she's combined her voice and a lively spirit with truth teachings of spiritual principles and universal law to present healing concerts, music-inspired Sunday church lessons, workshops, and celebrations. Elaine has had the honor of working in conjunction with many world-renowned spiritual leaders, including Deepak Chopra, Neil Donald Walsh, Don Miguel Ruiz, Barbara Walker, Brene Brown, Marianne Williamson, Ellen Cohen, and Wayne Dyer. Well known in her home state, New Jersey, as the folk music queen of New Jersey. I love that. She also shared the stage with Arlo Guthrie, Pete Seeger, Doc Watson, Kingston Trio, and many, many more. The list goes on. We'll hear from Elaine shortly. Wonderful. Thank you. Now we move to our chalice lighting. Okay, let's see here. Jerry, would you be willing to light the chalice for us today? Oh, and I need a... Hold it. What do we need? Talk amongst yourself. Yeah, I need a match.
Here it comes. It works. See?
Need a little more magic than that today. Thank you. Wonderful. No, that's fine. Just blow it out. Yeah. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that.
Symbol of change. It is a symbol of change.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Our words today are by Pat Uribe Lichty of Reading, Pennsylvania, who we are called to be. Our chalice is a reminder that in hard times, our ancestors in faith acted with courage to bring hope and safety, to bring life itself to threatened people. We light it today as a reminder of who we are called to be in a world that is still dangerous and despairing. With courage and faith, we bring ourselves to the work before us. Now, I would ask you to join me in reciting our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Reverend Elaine, will you join us for this time?
Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's called "'Tis Time." Put this down a little bit. And your part is, if you want to join, "'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember the old ways. 'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember, 'tis time." So there's very few words, really. 'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember the old ways. 'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember, 'tis time. And again, 'tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember the old ways. 'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember, 'tis time. We now invoke the elders to bring us energy. They're honored and remembered, and in our company, here's us. 'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember the old ways. 'Tis time, 'tis time. 'Tis time to remember, 'tis time. Envisioning the ancients the wisdom they have shared, the faith, the guides and angels are with us everywhere. 'Tis time, 'tis time, 'tis time to remember the old ways. 'Tis time, 'tis time, 'tis time to remember. 'Tis time. There's knowledge in the ethers and secrets in the land. Sacred are these blessings and ours at our command. 'Tis time, 'tis time, 'tis time to remember the old ways. 'Tis time, 'tis time, 'tis time to remember. 'Tis time, 'tis time, 'tis time to remember. 'Tis time. Okay, thank you. Good job. You can see. Let me get this out of here. Sharing is fun to do. One for you and one for me. One for me and one for you.
I think I might be missing one. Yep. Okay, let's see. What should we use?
Did I steal your thing?
I don't know. We'll find it out here.
This isn't it. No, I don't have it.
Okay. Now we're going to move to the Book of Life. Mary, could you please bring up the red book? Thank you, Mary. Today, we'd like to remember those who are still struggling with the leftovers of the hurricane and hold them in our hearts. Today, we'd like to remember those of us who are who have anxiety and excitement, and give us strength for the upcoming election. Today, we'd like to remember those who have not been able to be here for whatever reasons that they're struggling with. And may our fellowship here be a source of strength and comfort and courage and hope in the days and weeks to come. And now we will take a moment of silence for those wishes and thoughts and milestones that aren't shared today. Thank you. I'd like to move to Reverend Elaine.
We're going to do this today. So I'm going to start with this one that I learned from a mentor of mine, also known as Eclipse. She would do this in the beginning. Tis time. Tis time. Tis time to remember the old ways, the sacred ways, the women's ways, the witches' ways. 'Tis time. 'Tis time. 'Tis time. 'Tis time. Let me put this down. And so we're going to begin. Actually, we're going to call in sacred space, and we're going to create sacred space in a circle. So we need to stand if you're able, because we're going to end up. That's good. We're going to end up holding hands, but don't hold hands yet. I'm going to take, what is your name? Helen. I'm going to take Helen's left hand with my right hand, and we're going to each end up taking somebody's left hand with our right hand, because the left hand is the hand that receives. That's the feminine side, and the right hand is the side that gives, and that's the masculine side. And as we do this one by one, and we say, and I'll say to Helen, Samhain at last, our circle is cast. Can we all remember that? Samhain at last, our circle is cast. So I'm going to take Samhain at last, our circle is cast. No, you can't do both. Just go ahead. Just go ahead.
I forgot what.
Samhain at last,
Samhain at last.
our circle is cast.
Our circle.
And take
is
her
cast.
hand. Left hand up, right hand down.
Samhain at last. Our circle is cast.
Someone at last, our circle is cast.
Alan passed, circle is class.
Samhain at last. At last. Samhain at last.
Last, our circle is cast.
I'll just go with the circle is cast.
Behind you. Yeah. Remain holding hands.
Someone at last, the circle is cast.
Someone at last, our circle is cast.
Samhain at last. Our circle is cast. Samhain at last. Our circle is cast. Samhain at last. Our circle is cast. Samhain at last. Our circle is cast. Samhain at last. Our circle is cast. Samhain at last. Our circle is cast. Samhain at last. Our circle is cast.
You got some people in the bathroom, Nancy? You got 'em?
They got them.
Okay, Samhain at last, our circle is cast.
And then together one time. Samhain at last, our circle is cast. And we can let go. And I think our circle turned into an amoeba, but that's okay. And so I learned these rituals. Here, let me give you this. I learned these rituals through my mentor, Barbara Walker, who some of you, I have some of her books here. In the early 80s, she wrote the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets and many books on feminist spirituality. But she actually made a much bigger living writing books on knitting. She taught herself to knit when she was 30. She's 92 now, and she has many books. And she remembers walking into Macy's and seeing some sweater. I remember when I invented that stitch. And it's just pretty amazing. She's still with us, and she lives in Sarasota. So I did one program with her right when COVID was starting. We did one circle over at Rising Tide in Sarasota. And so I do want to really honor her because of that book. There was a feminist bookstore at the time in Morristown, New Jersey called Horizon, and they had a big celebration for this book having come out. And right after that, there was a little organization started called Women's Space at this fellowship in Morristown, New Jersey. And then once a month, on or near the full moon, women would meet there, and Barbara would be our historian, and she would teach us these rituals. She does have a book called Women's Rituals as well, which a lot of people have enjoyed over the years. And I just don't want to not say enough about her because it was such an inspiration. And Now I'm friends with her son, which is kind of amazing. So I want to move on to the next little ceremony. But one of the things I did want to say about our circle is that this is the Dianic tradition, and it's women, but I bring it out to everybody because whoever shows up at one of these circles, if it's a man, or whatever, it's a wonderful person, usually really outstanding. And so because it was non-hierarchical, whoever was leading the circle at that time was in charge, but no one was in charge. So the only rules that we had were to do these 4 rituals, and I added the casting of the circle when I do one. So every time we met, we would call in the directions, which I'm going to do now musically. And there's a part for you all, and it's just ah, ah, ah. You can remember that word, right? Ah, ah, ah. That's actually, I wasn't quite in the chair right during the last song. Okay, gotta get comfortable here. Okay, so your part goes like this. Ah, 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 then that kind of repeats. Ah, ah, ah. When I look to the east, I see sunrise. When I look to the east, I see light. With a soft golden gift of the morning, I am breathing you in, now revived. Oh yes, I'm breathing you in, now revived. Here's us. Ah, 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 ah. As I turn to the south, fire's burning with a warm, true acceptance of love. I am open to grand expectations as I'm sowing your seeds from above and awaiting your light crystals of love. Ah, let me hear you. Ah, it raises your vibration. Ah, you know the word. Ah, ah. Flying on to the west, wings outstretched, I am dressed in the transparent garments of light. I'm absorbing your ultimate amber as you slip past the line of my sight. As I see day as one with the night. Let me hear. Ah, ah, yeah. Ah, 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 ah. In the darkness I search for the North Star to to illuminate this sojourn of mine. My discoveries and self-affirmations make each moment more precious in time. As I proclaim, thou art goddess divine. Ah, 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 the goddess is in all of us to demonstrate her power. Her elements sustain our lives. We honor her this hour. Oh yes, we honor her this hour. Ah, 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 Okay, so that is the calling in the directions. And, if we had had more time, would have had you stand up and face each direction. But I have limited time. So that was the calling of the directions, and it's really an honoring of the circle of life, the east, where in the springtime, where the sun rises, the day is born, and we move into the south, and it's summer and things grow, and then we get into the harvest of our lives in the west, and the waters represented money and values, and then we enter into the winter and the wisdom of our wisdom. And even the playing cards are represented in the four directions. And in the winter, it's the spades. And what is a spade but a shovel that digs the element of earth so we may return to the mother? And so the next ritual that we always did in our circles is the passing of the sacred blessing cup. And it's where each woman is honored as a woman and goddess. But, really, spirit, whatever you want to call that higher power energy, it's too big to put into a gender. But, this is kind of like the pendulum had swung so much to one way, so now we let it swing back to the goddess. But this is why I like to invite all genders to come to the circle, because we honor ourselves as human and divine. Human and divine. And, the part of us that is divine is all connected. There's only one of us, and the physical part is a manifestation. It's an extension and an expression of that source energy that makes up everything. So every bit of me and every bit of each one here is made out of the same divine substance. And so, yeah, it works for me too. And so instead of passing this little blessing cup, I have it there. And basically what would happen is the first woman would say, or the first person would say, take a little water, and we anoint each other. And I would say, I, and then I would put a dot or a star, I like an infinity sign, anything, even a cross, whatever you want. I'd say, I, Fairy Elaine, honor thee, Helen, thou art goddess. And then Helen would take the little chalice, and then she would bless the woman next to her, the person next to her, and it would go around, thou art divine being. And when I first started to go to these rituals, that's the one that brought me back every month, because, I was raised Catholic, and it's like, okay. And, to have to go to a man priest to get blessed, like, that doesn't work for me. And we each have our own connection to source, so we can bless each other, and I just love and honor that. So it brought me back to the circles every month. And so instead of taking a lot of time to pass the blessing cup, we're going to do a self-blessing. Put this down a little bit. And Barbara Walker taught me this. And so we're going to make a pentagram. And so basically, You start with your finger on your third eye on your forehead, and you say I. Then you go to your right breast, your name, Fairy Elaine. Then you go to your left shoulder, bless myself. Now our right shoulder. And those who have come. And then to our left breast, before me. Back to the forehead, blessed be. We just did our blessing. Congratulations. I like that one. And so there's going to be a little bit more sermon through three songs. The second one's real short. And because we're honoring our ancestors, I wanted to honor my mom, and I have two moms. I have an adopted mom, not really adopted. We adopted each other, a spiritual mother and daughter in the late 90s, and she lived in New Jersey, and then she moved to Sarasota in the winters, and I lived with her in the summers and took care of her. So it's called The Circle Goes Round, and not around, but like the wheels on the bus. Go around. The circle goes round. And this was actually inspired by a harvest moon because, you reap what you sow, but you also sow what you reap. And it goes in a circle. And I went up to a place where I would go and watch the sunrise a lot of times up in Sarasota. And I noticed, okay, there's the sun, and that's a circle. And then the moon sometimes comes up then, too. And sometimes it sets. The full moon sets when the sun rises. It's the coolest thing. And those are circles. And a day is a circle. And a week is a circle. And a month and a year and a decade, they're all circles. There are very few lines like Harry Chapin. There are very few lines. It's all my life's a circle. So the circle goes round. And the way that I honor my mom is we used to call her Tops when she never wanted to be called Grandma or Granny. She just didn't want to be called that. So her dad used to call her Tops. So when the first granddaughter was born, somehow it came out, and then we all started calling her Tops. So there's a spinning top in the song. And my mom... she would say, she was a smart aleck, and she would say, today is the tomorrow that you worried about yesterday. So that's in here. So the circle goes round. We wake each morning and at night we sleep. Now here's your part. The circle goes round and round. We reap what we sow and we sow what we reap. The circle goes round and round. What goes up has to come down. The circle goes round and round. Like a spinning top dancing to the sound. The circle goes round and round. Shining moon, big full moon. The circle goes round and round. Sun to sun and moon to moon. The circle goes round and round. The circle goes round and round. Today is the tomorrow that moved us yesterday. The circle goes right. Remembering the good and that it's all okay. The circle goes round and round. We open up our eyes near the time of our birth. The circle goes round and round. Then we all return to our Mother Earth. The circle goes round and round. Shining moon, big full moon. The circle goes round and round. Week to week and moon to moon. The circle goes round and round. The circle goes round and round. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. She changes everything she touches. The circle, right? And everything she touches changes. The circle goes round and round. Shining moon, big full moon. The circle goes round and round. Month to month is moon to moon. The circle goes round and round. The circle goes round and round. circle goes round. One more, a big one, come on. The circle goes round and good job, everybody. I gotta get it. Just a sip of tea. So that was from my mom, top silver. Her name was Catherine Marie. We're all Marie. Elaine Marie, Christine Marie, Gretchen Marie, Catherine Marie, my sister. All for the Blessed Mother, of course. So I wanted to honor my second mom, Elaine. And she was really a friend. She was a wise woman. She was very generous with her time and her knowledge. And one time I was crying about something and I was complaining about something, whatever it was, I was suffering because I wasn't accepting the way it is. That is the root of all suffering, when we don't accept and allow what is. Because when we allow it, then we can do something about it. When we're suffering about it, we're immobilized. We're just suffering. So Elaine said to me, well, you have to adapt and adjust. Adapt and adjust. And I was like, okay. It's interesting. So then a couple of years later, really years later, something awful happened to her between her and her son. That is really unconscionable in my opinion. And she was crying, and I'm not going to go into any details about it, but it just was so unfair and it wasn't right, and she was upset. And I used to make her coffee every morning, and so the next morning, she came downstairs, and I gave her a big hug, and I said, are you okay? And she was from Brooklyn. She says, well, I'm going to have to adapt and adjust. So here's the song that I made for her, real short. Adapt and adjust, adjust and adapt. Acceptance is the key. Adapt and adjust, adjust and adapt. Acceptance for you and me. God grants me the serenity, courage to make a change. God grants me the wisdom to know when to play that game. Adapt and adjust, adjust and adapt. Acceptance is the key. Adapt and adjust, adjust and adapt. Acceptance for you and me. One more time. Adapt and adjust, adjust and adapt. Acceptance is the key. Adapt and adjust, adjust and adapt. Acceptance for you and me. All right, Elaine. Their pictures are up there. And so I'm going to take us to The Burning Times by Charlie Murphy. Some of you might remember him. And it was so amazing to me that a man wrote this song, so I honor Charlie. I used to send him royalty checks until he passed away. This is like a circle, talking about a circle, and the goddesses, and the real witches. In the cold of the evening, they used to gather 'neath the stars in the meadow, circled near an old oak tree. At the times appointed by the seasons of the earth and the phases of her moon. In the center often stood a woman, equal with the others, respected for her worth. One of the many they call the witches, the healers, the teachers of the wisdom of the earth. And the people grew with the knowledge she gave them, herbs to heal their bodies, spells to make their spirits whole. Hear them chanting, healing incantations, calling for the wise ones, celebrating in dance and song. Now here's just names of a bunch of goddesses from around the world. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Let's try it. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. There were those who came to power through domination. They were bonded in their worship of a dead man on a cross. They sought control of the common people by demanding allegiance to the Church of Rome. And the Pope, he commenced the Inquisition. It was a war against the women whose powers they feared. In this Holocaust, in this age of evil, 9 million European women, they died. And the tale was told of those who by the hundreds, holding hands together, chose their deaths in the sea, while chanting praises of the mother goddess. Their refusal for betrayal, women were dying to be free. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Now the earth is a witch, and we still burn her, stripping her down with mining and the poisoning of her wells. Still to us, the earth is a healer, a teacher, and a mother, and a sentient being, a weaver of a web of life that keeps us all alive. She gives us the vision to see through the chaos. She gives us the courage, it is our will to survive. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. All right, so what we're going to do is just try to stay in that quiet space. And we're going to do a little bit more speaking, and then we're going to do a meditation, a short meditation. Oh, that's right, I need this. So on or around the 31st of October, November 1st, in the Northern Hemisphere, and May 1st in the Southern Hemisphere, Samhain or Samhain is celebrated, and this is a remembering and an honoring of our dear departed friends and relations. It is believed that at Samhain, the veil that separates the world of the living and the world of the dead are at its thinnest. That veil is the thinnest it will be all year. And therefore, it's a nice time, maybe an optimal time, to think about making a connection with somebody on the other side. And you know, all of this is done as we believe, but we can move with the energy of that. And think about the fall. You know, now it's going to be Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain. What's going on in England and up north where Samhain came from, Great Britain, the UK? Everything's going out in a blaze of glory, isn't it? I mean, I'm going up to North Carolina on Wednesday. I think we're going up there, and just so we can get to see some of the beautiful foliage. It goes out in a blaze of glory, and then we have winter. And that's when things hibernate, and then stuff happens, you know. Stuff happens in the womb. And then the springtime comes, and then we wait for the harvest, and then we got Samhain again. And it's known as the New Year. Halloween is New Year's Eve in the pagan calendar, which is pretty cool. And so what I want to do is have you get comfortable in your chair. Both feet on the floor if you can. You can close your eyes or lower your gaze or not, whatever you feel comfortable with. We're going to take a short journey into our imagination. We're going to relax and take some deep cleansing breaths as we inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel yourself connecting to the earth below. And feel the energy of the earth climbing into your feet and up your legs and spine. And breathe in and breathe out. And feel yourself bathed in the energy of the sun and the wind. Breathe in and breathe out. And now see if you can let go of the world around you and just be present. Be present to yourself and to these words, if you choose. Just notice yourself beginning to ascend as we breathe in and we breathe out. And as you float upon the wind, you come to another time and place. And now it's All Hallows Eve. It's New Year's Eve. And so now you are surrounded by mists and darkness. As you start walking slowly, it's dark, walking slowly. And you're able to see the path before you opening. And it brings you to a special place in your mind where you can conjure up anything in your imagination. This word imagination is derived from the word magic. So it's time to create some magic if you would like. Tap into the energy of the magical power of this now present experience, held in the sacred space that we created and shared with those here who are also witness. And they share also. And my intention is that each of us here receives a gift. So this is the time to seek and find someone. And in your mind, that person can show up, or you can just invoke them by their name, whatever works. Maybe you hear a whisper, you get an inkling, you get a sense of someone that is on the other side. And it could be somebody you don't even know, that you know of. But the important thing is that this person or people have something to share with you to assist you in your growth and your well-being. This could be a person, a spirit, a guide, a fairy, an angel, or even the whisper in the wind. We're going to open ourselves up to hear or sense something. Now this could be a person that you brought a photo of, if you brought a photo. For we are all ancestors. Some of us are future ancestors. I'd like to invite you again to take some more deep cleansing breaths as you breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. As you take in what this person or people have given you tonight, New Year's Eve, All Hallows Eve. It could be a message, it could be a possibility, a new thought, a desire, even an opportunity for an epiphany. And these possibilities are endless, as it is coming from the vastness of the one mind to which we are all connected. Each one of us. We have a body, but really the mind has one mind and all these little bodies connected to it. Anything is possible. Your wish is the universe's command. I'm going to move us into the silence for a brief moment. It's now time to come back to the room. You feel rested and cleansed and relaxed as you continue to breathe deeply. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes, if you haven't already, and return to the room and to this world. Okay. So we have very little time. And the next part of the ritual is the talking stick. So I don't know if we have time for that, but do we have time for maybe a few people to share a word or a phrase? Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring us that you got? Did anybody get anything, any wisdom, any gift, any thoughts, any ideas? Lori, did you get anything? She got a blessing from her mother. Anybody else get a blessing from anyone? Is everybody shy? Raise your... Oh, you got a blessing? You want to just say? Oh. That's very sweet. That's very sweet. Well, there you go. The mind is the powerful tool. Anybody else? Who want? Yes? Yes. Yes. It was a little different maybe today in the presence of everybody? Yeah, it could be. Good. How about one more? Who wants to get put on the spot? Somebody's getting pointed to. Who is that? Oh, yes. Wonderful. I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay, so next we're going to have a little tiny closing ritual. And typically everybody would stand and hold hands, but we're not. We're just going to, you repeat after me. By the earth that is her body. By the air that is her breath. By the fire that is her bright spirit. By the living waters of her womb. May the peace of the goddess go in our hearts. Merry meet and merry part. And merry meet again. Blessed be. Okay, so we're going to have a quick offering. Okay. We might be able to make it.
Yes, we're doing good. We'll now move to our offering. In our tradition, congregations exist because of the generous support of members and friends. It's our privilege and our responsibility to ensure the health and the future of this fellowship. To this end, the offering support the ministry of this fellowship, whether by pledge or donation may be offered online. You can do this by donating here. If this is your first time, do not feel obligated to give. Your presence is our gift. From
You I receive, to you I give. Together we share, by this we live. And one more. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, by this we live. All right, good. I figured twice. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Announcements.
It's time for the life of the community. All right, please remember to check your UUFCC updates and the calendar and the website that has all the goodies in it. And if you're not on that list, please see, who do we see? Laura, where are you? Laura Lehrman. There she is. Yeah, if you're not on that list, let Laura know and we can make that happen. Okay, today I have the following announcements.
Horrible death to die, horrible death to die, horrible death to be talked to death. Horrible death. Announcements. There we go. You got them yet? Can you remember what they are? Here we go. Yay! Announcements.
I don't have them. Please look at your updates. And remember, if you want to work for our democracy, we've got UU the Vote, and there are several people in here that are very active. If you need to know the place to go for that, let me know. I just want to share that it's wonderful to be together, and my mind is in a different place now, and it feels really good, but it's not an announcement, so have a great time.
So we have one last song. Well, we're going to do Now Go in Peace, but we're going to I was going to do a whole song, but I figured we weren't going to have enough time. So I wrote this in the pool. I borrowed the melody. You know the melody? Amen, right? So we're going to go, blessed be, blessed be, blessed be, and so mote it be, everybody. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be, so mote it be.
Thank you very much. Now we will extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope. The fire of commitment or the warmth of this community. As you leave, feel free to exit out the double doors in the back. Thank you, Jerry, for extinguishing this candle. Please enjoy the patio for our social time outside there. And on the way, you will find some goodies from Reverend Elaine.
And shopping day?
And have a shopping day, right. It's a fun thing. There's some real cool things out there. And coffee will be available and goodies on the outside. And thanks for our weekly volunteers who are doing that. And it's time to wake up your phones. Thank you for joining us today.
Go now in peace.
Go now and peace.